Hello everyone. This lesson we are going to learn how to do timers. We have several types of timers in Siemens S7, so we'll try to figure out how these timers works and how we to configure it. First, so we'll open, let's say, use an existing OB. So we'll work in OB1. Let's try to do it in function block. We have several types of programming language we can use between. We can use ladder, statement list, and function block. So function block diagram. So we'll use function block. How can we create a timer? In this menu, we have here a menu called timers. If we expand this one, we have several types of timers, something called S-Pulse, P-EXT, ODT, ODTS, OFDTS, so several types of timers. So we'll try to make it as simple as possible. So let's start with SODT, which is the on timer, and we'll try to sample two timers, one called SODT and another one called S of DT. We'll see what's the difference. So first, this is the SODT. Let's name that timer. To name a timer, we need to assign a tag name for it. So any tag name for a timer starts with the letter T. So let's say we'll name that timer T1. Okay, that's the timer T1, and let's name that one to be T2. Okay, so now T1 done, T2 done, and then we will need to fill all of these question marks. So let's start with that timer. It has S and TV. S is the set input, which is the one responsible to initiate the timer. So in that timer, once the S is on, it will count, it will trigger the timer for a specific time, and it will have the output. So if we can see, we will put here a tag, let's say a timer. It's triggered when M0.0 equal 1. Okay, and that timer will be running for specific time. The format of time is called S5T hash, and then how many seconds or how many milliseconds or how many hours you want. Let's start with 30 seconds. Okay, so that's how it's being configured, SODT. Don't worry, so what we have here, once the M0.0 is 1, that timer will be running for 30 seconds, and then the output will be triggered. So the output will be triggered after 30 seconds for the input, which is M0.0 is being triggered. The other timer, which is S of DT. So let's put the input, the set for that one, which is gonna be, for example, M0.1. Okay, and we'll make the time here the same format, S5T hash, make it 20 seconds. Okay. So what is off DT? So this is off timer. So which means when M0.1 goes to off, goes to 0, the output will go to 0 after 20 seconds. But in this timer, when M0.0 goes to 1, the output will go to 1 after 30 seconds. That is the difference between on timer and off timer. Okay, so we want to see it, how it looks like, how it's gonna be running. So we will run the simulation to test the timer. How can we run the simulation? If you go here on the schematic manager and then go to option and then click simulate modules, it will open the simulator. and then the simulator in our case is in the CPU is in stop mode. So first I will make it go to run mode, so it will try to connect to the simulated CPU. So it's running now, no fault, it's in running state. Then I will go back to OP1 and then save my project, and then here download that project to the simulated CPU. In case of physical CPU, we don't need to run the simulator, but we will download it to the simulated CPU. So now it's been simulated, then we will monitoring it. Okay, so let's test it. Now it's running. You see here this indication, this bar means it's the CPU, the simulated CPU is running. So let's test the first timer. Okay, so what we have done, what we said before is when M0.0 goes to 1, the output Q will go to 1 after 30 seconds. Let's make it 0.0 goes to 1. So I'll click on this one and then right click and then modify to 1. You see that timer start to count. Q is still 0, so it will count up to 30 seconds and then Q will go to 1. So this is the TV, the set point for the timer, and this is the accumulated value, the value that been already what's remaining in 30 seconds. So 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1. Now the Q become 1 and it will stay 1. But what happens if M0.0 goes to 0 directly after, without no delay? Q will go to 0. You see, if we go make this modify to 0, so it goes directly to 0 without any delay. If we go to the other type of timer, this is the off delay. So which means if I put it to 1, the output will go to 1 straight away without any delay. Let's test it. It goes to 1, 1. But if it goes to 0, the counter will start counting the timer, and then the output will go to 0 after 20 seconds for the input. So this is the difference between the on delay and the off delay. And then we can put a title here, say on delay timer. And here we can say off delay timer. Very simple, very straightforward, without any complications. So nothing to worry about. Very easy and straightforward, and it is very widely used, the timers, in any programming or in any code you are doing. Thank you.